Worlds Within Worlds is back, and we are here with our newest segment of Monsters and Aliens, where we judge concepts and designs for different aliens and monsters that exist throughout all media. Today's hot creature is the monster from Colossal. Do I have its name? No. So we're going to stick with Colossal because that's the name of the movie. Maybe that's what they wanted to name the kaiju. Now, as I just stated, the movie itself is Colossal, and it debuted in 2014. And I'm talking about it because, honestly, this movie was weird, it was funny, and it was very interesting on the subjects that they touched on. Um, Obviously, like toxicity and certain abusive behavior traits. But the creature in itself, albeit weird, it was very cool how they designed it, how they designed the whole concept behind the monster. So that's what we're going to talk about. Now, I won't lie. Most of the design is basic, but again, the overall concept is crazy. This will contain spoilers. Real quick, comment what monster or alien you want to see next. Now, as far as what category that this monster falls into, I'm going to say it's a humanoid monster. And just to go back over the different categories I have for aliens and monsters, I touch over regular aliens, demons, animated aliens, deities, which could be like gods or more kind of, like Lovecraftian kind of creatures, or maybe they're not necessarily a god or anything, maybe they're an entity. Then we have fantasy creatures and humanoid monsters. And again, this one falls under humanoid monster. Now, let's talk about the looks. I truly think that even though this movie is full of crazy, weird concepts, the looks are pretty basic. I'm going to go with copy and paste. Typical, humanoid. So you got of course, the features kind of a human with the torso, the rib cage even kind of showing, and with a small abdomen, extended long arms. But it looks very much like a kaiju. That's what they were going for, and that's what it looks like. You have the armored kind of skin all over the body. You even have the crescent plate, almost like two horns or kind of moon crescent shaped head. And there's nothing really too crazy about the looks for this creature. It does have a frog kind of face, or a reptilian kind of face, like a snake almost. And I guess you could say, well, you haven't seen a kaiju like this one yet, but that's because usually kaijus kind of lean away from the basic, and it went full basic, and it's fine. It works for it. It's a humanoid monster. It's literally synced with a human. So it really didn't need to be anything too crazy. And it has a short tail. Now, I will say its feet. That was a weird approach. I was expecting some weird looking human feet, like the hands look almost like human hands, but with 4 fingers, including a thumb. However, upon looking at different pictures, because it's really hard to see the monster fully in the movie, looked at different pictures, and I found a statue that was made on Amazon for the monster, and it has kind of dinosaur bronchiosaurus feet, or I guess you could eat elephant feet. I wasn't expecting that, so thumbs up in that category. And for my scale for humanoid monsters, I have xenomorphs as personally my top monster under humanoid monster. And I say xenomorph, and I'm sure a lot of you all think, well, that's an alien. But if you want to be technical, yes, the movie is named Alien, but the more we find out about how the aliens were created, they are monsters. They were created, this species that wasn't a natural thing from their planet, but one that was created by the engineers. And then the most basic design will be King Shark. Now let's talk about the biology. Or actually, first we're going to talk about abilities, then we'll get into biologies. Now the abilities are great, definitely original. So, as stated before, it's connected to a human. It has telepathic connection to a human, or psychic connection to a human. And this human was Anne Hathaway's character. I believe it's Gloria. And everything she did, the monster did. As long as she was inside this particular park that was connected all the way over to Seoul. Now, just theorizing on how this was even possible, because obviously it's not truly explained in the movie, other than she's had this connection since she was a kid, and she was hit by lightning that apparently, at that spot, that apparently kind of connected her with this monster counterpart. It kind of gets into the particle entanglement theory. And maybe that's kind of what is going on here. Now, these aren't one particle or a single particle, it's a huge amount of space and area, but she is synced directly with this monster, and the locations are synced directly with each other. To the point that even when she goes to that location, I thought the park was just special. Even when she goes to Seoul, it creates her monster now at the park. So there's a level of connection there, like the particle entanglement theory, and that's pretty cool. That's really unique to take that aspect with not only an alien or a monster creature or alternate dimension creature. That's also the thing. We really don't know where the creature comes from, but they connected it directly to a human in a special kind of way that creates a whole new setting for a movie like this, you know. And the movie didn't have to be what it was either. They're talking about, again, toxic behaviors and abusive traits, but then they throw in this monster in this nice special way that just kind of wraps it all together in one weird kerfluffle of a movie. But yeah, I would definitely have to say its abilities are extremely original. I have seen a very few characters that dealt with like entanglement like that, and this one was by far done in the most unique way that I've seen so far. Now we're going to go over biology. We don't know much about the biology, the insides of it. Again, we do know the brains are connected. So in that part, I'm going to go again with original, but I will assume that everything else about it is pretty basic. Has strong strength because it's this huge monster, but I didn't see it like shoot any lasers out of its mouth like Godzilla. Or I say lasers, but I guess it's more of a plasma blast. You know, I didn't see it release any gas from its mouth or something crazy. It has a strong tail, big old elephant-like, dinosaur-like feet, and just strong muscles. Nothing too special about it outside of the telepathic connection to Anne Hathaway's character. Now, talking about its lasting impression on me, if it's not already obvious, again, the kind of weird sci-fi entanglement thing was really cool to me. Definitely was a mystery, and it still leaves you with a mystery because even though they kind of explain how she's able to do this, they don't really get into it. So if you're just in it for the drama or for the actual story, you're still gonna walk away probably loving the movie. And if you're in it for the sci-fi-ness of it all, you're walking away with so many theories in your head as to how this was even possible. It all seems to have started with the lightning strike in her head that also hit her friend, or at least we thought it was her friend. I think it also kind of messed with their minds. That's something that wasn't directly talked about in the movie, but that is a theory that I have, is that they low-key are suffering from brain damage from the lightning strike and the toil that the monster takes on them, because it seems like every time that monster or she activates that monster in a way, she struggles kind of with different issues mentally, and especially the friend. The first day that he connects with the robot, after that, he just goes full left field with everything. We first started seeing him, his true colors of being this bully, when he steps into the playground. And not to say that he wasn't already. It could very well be the fact that he was just kind of hiding it, putting on a front. There are a few scenes that kind of give this impression that his friends already kind of have this fear of him. And at first I thought it was just out of respect, but obviously because they've dealt with the bully before. But when he takes his first step in the sand and turns out he's the robot or whatever, the next day he's full on drinking and trying to make fun of the people of Seoul, and then it's just, he doesn't care. Every single time he goes back, he's more murderous, does not care, more abusive. And I want to say that their connection to the animal put a toll on their mental capacity. So that's basically their lasting impression on me, is that the whole thing was very weird and pretty funny, a fun movie, with a nice twist to how she has a connection to this monster. The twist itself is way more interesting, the actual monster itself. However, still very unique. So don't forget to tell me what you want to see rated next. Thank you all again for visiting the channel. God bless you, and I'll see you soon.